Still 6 points of the difference on the top of the table over in Germany, with Bayern München looks set to regain the title at the expense of current holders Bayer Leverkusen. But can that change this weekend? We'll tell you all of that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match number 30. That's right, that's 30 to you and me, of course, as Bayern look to close in on yet another title. But can they hold their lead at the top of the table? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe and your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, world football, Bundesliga football. We're going to all hear under one rooster. What about the race to join those top two in the Champions League? It's quite spicy at the moment at the top of the table over in Germany. We'll take a closer look at that and much more. If you're new, again, hit the old subscribe, and a big shout out to the members and their Patreons. What we're going to do now, though, is revisit the games that did take place this past weekend and then look forward to this weekend's drama, plus a little cheeky update in the Superbru. So sit tight, hold on. Let's get into it then, shall we? Of course, look back at the games that did take place this past weekend, including these. That's right, as Wolfsburg got stuffed. Actually, not stuffed. It was a close game, 3-2 win in the end for Leipzig over Wolfsburg. I went the 2-0 home win. Meanwhile, my boys, Mönchengladbach, did lose to Freiburg. They shit the bed on that one, didn't they? 2-1 winners for them on the road. Augsburg with a big away win over Bochum, of course, denting their own survival hopes. Hoffenheim also picked up a massive win over Mainz, 2-0 winners in the end. Actually did pretty shit this week. Leverkusen with a 0-0 draw against Union Berlin. Again, points dropped there. St. Pauli with a 2-1 win over Holstein Kiel. I don't think I got any right. I got one right in the end there. So St. Pauli with a win over Holstein Kiel. Bayern with a 2-2 draw against Dortmund. I went with a 3-2 wins, close on that one. So points, again, close. A missed opportunity there for Leverkusen. Stuttgart with a 2-1 loss to Werder Bremen. And then Frankfurt did beat Heidenheim to give me a point this past week. So not great for me, but it does make a very interesting looking table. Of course, Bayern still 6 points clear. Frankfurt are in third. At the moment, Leipzig are in fourth. Mainz up to fifth and Freiburg in sixth. My boys are in seventh right now, with Borussia Dortmund hovering over the shoulder as the moment. Going down Holstein Kiel, it is Bochum, Heidenheim, also down there in trouble. It's between those three, you would imagine. Let's take a look then at this Super Brewski then, shall we? Bring you back up to date with all that jazz to see how you guys have been getting on. Of course, don't forget, I threw in the towel not so long ago, so just to make it easy on you guys, because, you know, I would have kicked your ass. I would have kicked all of your asses, and I'll come back next year with a bigger boot to kick. Anyway, this is the current leaderboard for this past week. Sachi with 10.5 points. He gets the gold. Vindaloo victory, and Puroman with K7 sharing the bronze. Wow, wow, wow. If you see your name in there, please do me a favor and smash that like, guys. Smash the old subscribe as well if you're new. We'll be back, of course, next season for some Bundesliga predictions. That's confirmed, of course. And Noah running away with it right now. 10 or so points clear over Ultra Omiro and Tayabi up there in third in the table, of course. But yeah, next year it'll be all mine. So enjoy your moment in the sun because it ain't going to last, guys. I'm coming back, and I'm coming back determined to showcase. It's just because I took my eye off the game for like 2 weeks. Anyway, of course, this is the link if you want to get involved. If you don't know how to do the Superbru, just get in there now, play around with it, and see how you make out. Just to get a feel for it, because it is easy peasy. Anyway, let's kick on forward to this weekend's games, and it all kicks off this coming Saturday, the 19th of April. It is Heidenheim. It is Bayern that's coming at you at the fourth arena. Heidenheim under Frank Schmidt, struggling right now, 60th for the table, 22 points for the season, back-to-back defeats for them up against Bayern out of any company. Also, back-to-back games without a win for them. They're sitting on top with 69 points. 69, dudes. 4 times they're played since 2019. 1 win for Heidenheim, 3 for Bayern. There's been no draws. Now, the last time these two sides played at Heidenheim, it was in the Bundesliga. It was back in April 2024, and it was a 3-2 win for Heidenheim. The reverse fixture at the Allianz Arena was a 4-2 win for Bayern. That was back in December. Heidenheim, though, on the back of that 3-0 loss to Frankfurt. It's actually back-to-back losses for Heidenheim and back-to-back games without a goal. Up against Bayern, who haven't won since they beat Augsburg back on the 4th of April. And I've got Champions League football as well this week, which could take precedence in a busy old week. They're expected to win this game. The bookies expect them to win this game. It should be an easy one for them. 2-0 winners, but hey, you just don't know in the Bundesliga. Let's go to Freiburg then, shall we, as they take on Hoffenheim also on the 19th of April at the Europa Stadion. Freiburg under Julian Schuster. They sit 6th right now, 45 points for the season, got back to winning ways last time around. Of course, it was Mönchengladbach. Meanwhile, Hoffenheim under Christian Ilsen, they sit 14th right now, 30 points for the season. Also got back to winning ways last time around. They played 33 times, these two clubs, since 2007. 14 wins for Freiburg, just 7 wins for Hoffenheim. There has been 12 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Freiburg, it was a 3-2 win for Freiburg. That was back in January 2024. The reverse fixture at Hoffenheim was one of those 12 draws. Goodness gracious me. Hoffenheim on the back of that 2-0 win over Mainz. Freiburg with that 2-1 win over Mönchengladbach. The bookies will back Freiburg, of course they will. Yep, they are the favourites. Hoffenheim underdogs, gone with a 2-1 win as well to maintain their outside look at those Champions League spots. Meanwhile, Mainz also in that reckoning up against Wolfsburg. Coming out to the Miwa Arena, Bo Henriksen's boys are fifth. 46 points for the season. They're winless in the last 4 matches. Up against Wolfsburg under Ralf Hasenhüttl, they sit 12th. They've lost 4 on the spin, and they're winless in the last 5. But they have played Mainz 45 times, and they've won 20 times against them. Just 10 wins for Mainz, and there's been 15 draws. Last time round over at Mainz, it was a 1-1 draw back in January 2024. The reverse fixture at Wolfsburg, 4-3 winners it was for Wolfsburg back in December. Mainz, though, with a 2-0 loss to Hoffenheim. Wolfsburg losing to Leipzig most recently, 3-2 loss there. The odds for this one tight. Mainz just about edge it. I've gone with the 1-0 win as well to boost their chances again into that top 4, and who knows where that will lead them. Meanwhile, Werder Bremen up against Bochum. Coming to the Weserstadion. Oli Werner's boys are 9th right now, 42 points for the season. They won 3 on the spin and just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Bochum and Dieter Hecking, they're down to 17th with just 20 points, and they lost 3 on the spin. Now, they played Bremen 31 times since 1992. 22 wins for Bremen, 4 wins Bochum. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at the Weserstadion, it was a 4-1 win for Bremen back in May 2024. The reverse fixture at Bochum was a 1-0 win for Bremen back in December. To make it back-to-back wins for Bremen, they're unbeaten against them in the last 6. The only hiccup there is a draw, and that was at Bochum back in January 2024. Bremen, though, with a 2-1 win over Stuttgart. Bochum losing to Augsburg last time around. The odds for this one, Bremen expected to get the win, and Bochum are struggling. 2-1 winners. Bremen getting another 3 points in the bag. Meanwhile, RB Leipzig, they're up against Holstein Kiel over at the Red Bull Arena. Zulte Loh, currently coach at Leipzig. They sit 4th right now, 48 points for the season. Back-to-back wins up against Holstein Kiel. Marcel Rapp, winless in the last 5. They sit 18th right now, rock bottom with just 18 points for the campaign. Now, they played Leipzig 7 times since 2010. 5 wins Leipzig, 2 wins Holstein Kiel. There's been no draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at Leipzig, it was all the way back in September 2013. It was in the Dritte Bundesliga, and Leipzig won 3-1. Now, the reverse fixture over at Holstein Kiel was a 2-0 win for Leipzig back in December. Leipzig, though, on the back of that 3-2 win over Wolfsburg. We've got a 2-1 loss for Holstein Kiel against St. Pauli last time around. The odds for this one, though, Leipzig expect to get the win under low. 3-0 winners, and their race for Champions League still on like Donkey Kong. Let's go Union Berlin, finishing the season strongly up against Stuttgart. Berlin now 13th at the table, 34 points for the season, unbeaten in the last 5 up against Stuttgart. Under Sebastian Hoeneß, they sit 11th, 40 points for the season. They've only won twice in the last 6 matches. Union Berlin, though, unbeaten in the last 5. They played 14 times in 2016, 3 wins Union Berlin, 5 wins Stuttgart. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at Berlin was a 3-0 win for Stuttgart back in October 2023. In fact, Stuttgart have won 4 on the spin against Union Berlin. They've only conceded 2 goals in those last 4. However, 3 of those last 4 were in Stuttgart. Stuttgart now picking up a 2-1 loss to Bremen most recently. Union Berlin with that important 0-0 draw against Leverkusen to make it back-to-back clean sheets for them heading into this one. The odds for this one, it is tight. Stuttgart just about edge it, but I'm going with the 2-0 win for Berlin. They're in form side right now, especially in amongst the chasing pack. Meanwhile, Augsburg, well, lock horns up against Eintracht Frankfurt on Sunday, the April the 20th at the WWK Arena. Augsburg under Jesse Torup, they are 10th right now, 42 points for the season, just 1 defeat in the last 16. They sit 10th up against Frankfurt under Dino Topmöller, who sit 3rd. 51 points for them for the season, and they've won 3 out of the last 6. They played Augsburg 27 times since 2008. We have 9 wins apiece and 9 draws. Gow, wow, wee, wow. Last time around over at Augsburg, it was a 2-1 win for Augsburg back in December 2023. The reverse fixture this season was a 2-2 draw over at Frankfurt back in December. Augsburg, they're picking up a 2-1 win over Bochum. Most recently, Frankie back to winning ways with a 3-0 win over Heidenheim. Of course, Frankie got Spurs this week in the Europa League. Could also be focusing on that one as well. The bookies actually edge it to Augsburg, perhaps. It's a bit bizarre, but is what it is. I've gone with a 2-1 win for Frankfurt to continue their amazing season. Then we go to the Borussia derby. It's Dortmund, it's Gladbach. It's a single under the park. Dortmund under Nico Kovac. They are 8th right now, 42 points for the season. Winless in the last 2 matches. But against Gladbach under Gerhard Cedino, they sit 7th, 44 points for the season. Also, back-to-back games without a win. Now, they played each other 65 times since 1992. 37 wins for the yellow and black, 17 wins for the white and green, 11 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at Dortmund, it was a 4-2 win for Dortmund back in November 2023. The reverse fixture, a 1-1 draw over at Borussia Park back in December in match number 13. Gladbach, though, on the back of that 2-1 loss to Freiburg. Dortmund drawing with Bayern most recently. They've also got Barcelona this week. In fact, probably today, depending on when this goes out. Dortmund, though, expected to win on this one. Unfortunately, they are going to expect to win as well. 2-1 win. I hope I'm wrong. Hope Borussia get the W, because if they do, they could be right back in that top 4 discussion. Meanwhile, St. Pauli will wrap it all up against Leverkusen, coming at you at the Militar Stadion. St. Pauli and Alexander Blezin, they sit 15th right now, 29 points for the season. Just one defeat in the last 5 up against Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso. Again, could be approaching his end of his tenure here with Real Madrid job possibly in his sights. Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso just one defeat in the last 5. They sit second, 63 points for the season. They played St. Pauli 12 times since 1995. 5 wins Leverkusen, 3 wins St. Pauli. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at St. Pauli, was a 1-win win for Leverkusen back in November 2010. The reverse fixture this season at the Bay Arena was a 2-1 win for Leverkusen back in December. Leverkusen, though, on back-to-back clean sheets for them, but they did not win the last match. They did draw with Union Berlin at the Bay Arena. St. Pauli, though, on the back of a 2-1 win over Holstein Kiel last time around. The odds for this one, though, Leverkusen expected to get the W. I've gone with that as well. I've gone with a 2-0 win on the road to keep the heat at the top of the table over in the Bundesliga. And if I'm right, that's what the table will look like. Of course, 72 points for Bayern. Of course, still 6 points lead over Bayer Leverkusen at the moment. Frankie are in third, and then Leipzig are in fourth. Going down, Holstein Kiel and then Bochum. But still, lots of points on the offering, so keep on doing your thing. Subscribe, smash the like, get your predictions in. Of course, we'll be back very, very soon. But until then, we're done.